mistake. There we go, that should be better. Thanks for the heads up, Bunker Baron. Not long to go now, 1 minute until the official start of the session. We need one more driver to join up now, and then we should be getting underway momentarily. Again, for those who missed practice, this is the Huts Gaming F1 2021 League. I'm Oscar, the commentator. First race last week at Imola. Got the call back again to do Silverstone. I couldn't be happier. One of my favourite tracks of all time. The wickedly talented group of drivers. Really, you can't predict how this is going to go. Couldn't predict it last week. Against all odds, FICO, reserve driver for Red Bull, came back to win. The hell of a recovery drive after a torrid first lap for the Red Bull driver. Heartbreak for Surtees in that race, the Aston Martin driver. See, right down the grid. Plenty of quick drivers here. Some looking to make amends for their races last week. And one of the main things to be clear of in this are the time penalties. It's so easy to just run a wheel off the curb too far, go over the white line and net yourself a 3-second time penalty. Really is one of the most important parts of a track like this. Time penalties and of course the gravel. Silverstone's quite the unforgiving circuit. Plenty of gravel traps to get stuck in. Excuse me. So we look at the chat. Hey, we've got a Jabber for the win. We've got Sherlock for the win. Again, you can't predict it with this field of drivers. Go either way as we head towards qualifying. And a Pookie win. Bunker Baron hoping for a Pookie win. Plurl, of course, rooting for himself, as you would. And 13 seconds at most to the start of the session. There we go. Underway for qualifying here at Silverstone. Sunny day at Silverstone. Clear skies, not a drop of rain in the sky for the time being. Just get everything up here. There we go. As our first driver out is Big Six, just pipped ahead of him. ARX Biscuit getting the jump. Not ARX Biscuit, that was J05GR. Again, like I said last time, very catchy name there, my friend. But our first flying lap should come from the Ferrari of J05GR. So we'll stick with him for the time being. Of course, unless Big Six or whoever else is behind gets ahead of him at some point. For the time being, we'll stick with J05GR. conditions are looking ideal for the drivers out there. Of course, dynamic weather, I do believe. So, chance of a downpour. Of course, remember, this track is situated in the United Kingdom, home of the rain. Doesn't seem to be pouring here today. That's J05GR leads them down the straight to start the first flying laps. A few more corners left to go. Let's see what can be done. We'll go on board for this first flying lap. So no pressure. As we're underway in Silverstone for the first lap. Riding on board with the Ferrari of J05GR here. Hitting apexes left, right and centre. Well held. Doesn't ride out too wide, doesn't make use of the curb on exit. Or on the exit there either. DRS wide open, 197 miles an hour into the braking zone. A few lockups there on the tyres, just misses the apex. Not the cleanest of laps that we've seen got the past session or two. So we come down towards Cops now. Doesn't scrub off too much speed, doesn't even lift there. Real dedication through that corner into Maggots, then Beckett's, and up into the swooping Chapel corner. We come down into the straight, DRS wide open. Looking like a clean lap so far, a few lockups and a few missed apexes. But a good marker to set. We were hitting 126s in practice. J05GR to the line. Let's see what you can do. 126 has gone there. It's a 127.7. As you watch behind the Mercedes of Big Six going into a 128.1. Big Jabber slotting in behind with a 128.5. Eric's Biscuit pops in the quickest time with 127.5. Big Vic putting it in third, 128.0. Find the Alpha Tauri driver. HGL Ninny putting it at a 131.0. Maybe got impeded. 144.5 for Z0T. KSK putting it in P4 as a Lord goes third fast with a 127.8. Ruffle in P6. Reese P5 with a 128.0. And Klasnik in the Haas puts it in a 127.295 to go quickest of all. Still early days, remember. Right on board with Big Liam. See how this lap transpires. Last few corners. Foot flat to the floor. And it's good enough for P9 for Big Liam so far. Still early doors, remember. Just flicking through the drivers to see who's where and what's happening. Right on board with Pookie on the out lap. Sherlock on a quick lap. No, that's a warm-up lap there. So right on board with Pookie. Goes to start his first flying lap. Our reigning champion. Quite a ways to go around the track before he starts his lap. So we look at the timing sheets now. Klasnik and the Haas. 127.2, followed closely behind. Oh, just as I say that, Z0T puts it in P1 with a 127.2, a few hundredths quicker than Klasnik, as Ninny's been given a 5-place grid penalty for a collision. See what comes of that. As Pookie comes around the last few corners. Start champion's first lap, little lock up there. Shouldn't affect it too much. A medium compound tyre. So wanting to start the race on the mediums. Be a bit of a gamble, but his pace did look solid through practice. Not even a hint of a lift there. Slamming on the brakes. Rolls it through. And on the brakes. Some tyres squealing away there. not the cleanest. Fighting the steering wheel a little bit through the corners. See how he goes through here. Lots of lockups into this corner from other drivers. Tiny hint, some tyre squealing, but it didn't sound too bad. Z0T gets out of the way nicely. A clean lap, hugged the barrier there on the inside. Dropped a gear and lifted a bit through Cops. Up towards Maggots and Beckett's. Dropping gears very early here is Pookie. To get the acceleration as quickly as possible. Benefiting from the slipstream from HGL Nini there. Puts in the best middle sector of anyone. Hits the apex, doesn't run out too wide to get his lap deleted. A bit of a lock up there into the last couple of corners. And foot flat to the floor, short run to the line. That puts Pookie in P4 with a medium compound tyre. That's a good marker of things to come for Pookie. As we go back to broadcast camera, we'll have a look at the other drivers on track at the moment. Reese looks like he's on a warm-up lap there. Claws on a quick lap, I do believe. Through Woodcote, coming up towards Cops now. No lift there for Plul. Medium compound tyre into Maggots and Beckett's. And then Chapel Bend. And foot flat for the straight. DRS wide open. Putting in 185, 191, 195. 195 when he slams on the brake pedal. Gets it in, doesn't run out too wide there. As Goshan puts in the quickest time by quite a margin with a 126.8. Paul does not finish that lap. It was looking like a decent one, but does not elect to finish that lap. So watch J05GR. Just cruising around. Read the chat there. We've got 3/10 down because of oversteer and Maggots and Beckett's from Plul. Makes sense to back out there. Into Cops. Ooh, very wide on exit. Keeps the lap time though. Surprisingly enough. Tenth down for J05GR. Very catchy name for the Ferrari driver. Does he run out too wide? No, very cautious on the exit curve. Doesn't want to get his lap time deleted. Gets it in nicely, hits both apexes, runs out nicely on exit curb. And it's a short run to the line to put him into 6th place, just behind his teammate by 0.3 of a second. Here, X-Biscuit currently in 6th. As Goshan up ahead. The McLarens, I told you they look mighty. Goshan and Isti currently locking out the front row. The 126.8 and a 127.0. Pookie a 10th behind Isti. Looks like he's coming into the pits then. Right on board with Big Vic. He starts a lap, it looks like. Best first sector for Big Vic in the Aston Martin. Comes up through Woodcote, tumbling down towards Cops, sorry. Little hint of a lift, runs out very wide, but again, lap time stays somehow. To Maggots and Beckett's. Towards Chapel Bend. Stamps on the throttle for the straight. Opens DRS. Does he run out wide on exit to get the lap time deleted? Nope. Again, cautious on curbs just in case. No lock-up into there. There's a few drivers coming down with lock-ups there. It's a short run to the line for a 1:27.5 for Big Vic. Which puts him in P7. A couple places back from his teammate, but not a bad effort at all. Right on board with Sherlock now, as he's not got much of a representative lap time. 1:47.4. I've got to say that probably isn't his real pace here. See what he can do this flying lap. Five minutes left to go in the qualifying session, so plenty of time for drivers to come out and get another lap in. For Sherlock, you've got to say, it is crunch time. This will be his first representative lap, and he'll have time for one more, perhaps. Comes round the final corner, set a 1:27.9. Puts him up to 13th. So the two Mercedes guys of Big Six and Sherlock in 13th and 14th. Further down the grid, we have the Williams guys of Big Liam and Big Jabber. Shankstar in the Haas. Quack in the Alfa Romeo, and Nini in the Gravel. In the AlphaTauri. Just trying to get back on track, make sure he doesn't impede the Aston Martin coming through. Well done getting out the way. Williams driver coming up now. So, with 4 minutes left to go of the session, our running order is a McLaren front row lockout. Just as I say that, Paul comes through and splits the McLarens. The Red Bull up between them with a 1:26.956. Going very well on this track, but what tyre was that fastest lap set on? It was on the mediums for Goshan. So, medium tyre for Isti and Goshan with their best laps. Obviously going for a different strategy. But again, the good lap from Paul to put him into P2 on the soft compound tyre. 3 minutes to go in the session. Got to be thinking about getting one more lap under your belts now, fellas. A solid effort from Paul to split the McLarens, who were looking somewhat untouchable. Sat up in P1 and 2. Right on board with the Aston Martin and Big Vic into the last couple of corners. Picking up at just the right time to see where this will put him. Like it's going to be a 1:27.4, so 10th quicker as previous time. ARX Biscuit, one of the on paper favourites, currently down in 7th. Can he improve before the time runs out? He's got 3 minutes to do so, so plenty of time. Is this a quick lap? I can't quite tell. I think this is a fast lap. Have a look at the sector delta. It is. He is 900ths down on his best time. One of the favourites to win at Imola last week. ARX Biscuit with supreme pace. Can he get it together at Silverstone to challenge again in consecutive weeks? Comes through to Maggots and Beckett's. He'll be getting affected by the dirty air from the Alfa Romeo in front. Well, not the best place for that. Only 200ths down still. Not ideal. You want to be more than 200ths up, preferably. Especially languishing down in 7th. We might have time for one more lap. Gets it together. Passes over the curbs in a soft compound tyre. Short run to the line. Puts in a 1:27.3. Only 600ths quicker. Not good enough to make much of an impression on the cars ahead. Biscuit will surely want to go one more time, just to eke out whatever performance he can from that car. look further down the grid. As we're really into crunch time now, 1 minute 24 left to go. So really and truly, got to say the session is probably over for those sat in the pits. So for Big Vic, Pookie, the session is almost definitely over. Won't have time to get round to get another lap in, so Pookie will be at most P5. Z0T slots in ahead of Plul. Not by much. Margins are very slim up at the front here. Watch J05GR on what will be his final flying lap. Roffle is retired. KSK is retired. So they'll be starting no higher than 9th and 13th. Where all the pressure comes in, you've really got to see if you can work under it. Drivers coming to the line now to start their laps or to finish them. J05GR just coming through Maggots and Beckett's, then Chapel Bend. Once it gets foot to the floor, get the traction down, slam it onto the straight. DRS wide open, best middle sector for J05GR. Let's see what the ultimate pace is. His teammates in P7 at the moment. He won't be getting a lap as he sees a checkered flag. Last few corners to go. Slam it down, short run to the line. And it's good enough for P11. No improvement there. So best P11 result. Big Six takes the pits. You have Goshan here. We've got Isti at the moment. Isti is ahead of Goshan on track at the moment, so we'll follow him first. Close behind him is Plul. You'll say the fight for pole position is between these three. Best middle sector for Isti there. It's looking like a good lap from the McLaren driver as he pops it into the pits. So we'll follow Plul. Isti will start no higher than 4th. And he's short run to the line now. And Plul cannot improve either. Goshan dives into the pit lane. So this is our grid for the race. Goshan takes pole position by a very slim margin to the Aston Martin of Z0T. Plul starting on the second row. Again, slim margins here. And Isti starting on the second row alongside Plul. And Pookie just a 10th behind him. Further back, we have Klasnik in the Haas, ARX Biscuit in the Ferrari, Big Vic in P8 in the Aston Martin, Groffel in P9 for the Alpine, 10th for Lord in the Alfa Romeo, J05GR still on track. He will start no higher than 11th. Big Six in the Mercedes in 12th, Shankstar in 13th, Big Jabber in 14th, KSK in 15th, Quack in 16th, and I can't see the rest of the timing screen. So we'll have another look. I was so rudely interrupted. Quack in 16th, Big Liam in 17th, Sherlock in 18th, Reese in his first qualifying session for Red Bull in 19th, and rounding out the grid, HGL Nini in the AlphaTauri in 20th. Again, nothing to separate the 4 at the front, even the 5 at the front. Only a couple tenths spans the whole front 2 rows and then some. So move on to the race now. You can see the crowd are loving it. 30 seconds to the start. After an electric qualifying session, saw the McLaren driver on pole. Wasn't the front row lockout we might have expected going off practice form. But nonetheless, a good performance from McLaren. Get their drivers as far up the grid as they possibly can. Just terrible. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Formation lap underway now. Just get everything up and running. There we go. So, Goshan up front. Z0T in the Aston Martin. Outside favourite, one might say. Just behind him on the soft compound tyre as they weave their way down the straight. Warming up those tyres. Plul in the Red Bull. Isti in the McLaren. As you see, the predicted pit stop strategy to be soft to medium around lap 11 to 14 or soft to hard. I've heard some drivers complaining about the hard compound tyre after Imola, so maybe not for the drivers this week, but who knows, they could take it for the benefit of longevity. Pookie in P5, reigning champion, the Alpine, starting on the medium tyre. So you've got to say, off the line, Goshan will probably be open to an attack from Z0T over in the Aston Martin with the soft compound tyre, which should give him a better launch. And Plul as well could be gunning for Goshan into turn 1. Klasnik in the Haas in P6, nice and high up the grid for the Haas driver. ARX Biscuit P7, maybe more in that car given the pace that we saw in Imola and in practice. We'll have to see in the race. So come to the end of the formation lap. Front runners lining up on the grid now. HGL Goshan lining up in P1, P2 alongside him, Z0T. HGL Pool on the second row of the grid alongside Isti, Pookie in P5, Klasnik in P6, ARX Biscuit P7, Big Vic in P8, Groffel in P9, Alord in the Alpha in P10, J05GR in P11, and the rest have lined up already, so I won't be going through them. As we see the last two cars of Reese and Nini get up to the grid. And it looks like the session will be getting underway momentarily. Hear the revs of the cars, the 5 lights are on ahead of the drivers. And we're racing in Silverstone. Get away from Goshan, it looked like. Medium tyres not bogging him down too much. Z0T's on the outside, not able to make a move there. Plul still in position. Pookie made up one place there. Yellow flag at the back. Like one of the Alpha Tauris has had a moment at the back there. Lots of lockups all over the shop at the moment. As Big Liam rounds out the pack. Goshan, P1, Z0T, P2. Plul in P3 and Pookie making up one place at the start into P4. Isti in P5, lost a position to Pookie there. You see Biscuit up one position as well to P6. So all in all, even getaway, except for Nini, who had a coming together at some point in the first lap. You see a big old scrap in the midfield between Shankstar, Quack, Groffel. I think Sherlock might be in on that as well. Shankstar just controlling it at the moment. Koza goes off the track a little bit. As we see Sherlock maybe making a move, thinks better of it into Maggots and Beckett's, given the high speeds. Don't want to be putting a wheel in there. Good old scrap there. 3 people in that battle. Reese just trailing behind, made up a few places at the start, P16. Good start for the new Red Bull driver as KSK makes a move on Groffel into P17 on the medium compound tyre. We check in with our front runners as Alord and J05GR are going back and forth. HGL Goshan puts in the best lap of the race. But you obviously expect that he's in first. This could be a good battle between Alord and J05GR as we got a 5-second time penalty for Big Liam speeding in the pit lane. Oh, looked like contact there between J05GR and a Lord. That might open the gap up for Big Six behind to have a look. Thinks better of it. Backs out just a little bit. Gap ahead. Z0T makes a move for the lead. Fights it back on around the outside. Can he keep it stick? Goshan comes back at him. You've got to say Z0T should have better traction on those soft tyres, but Goshan keeps his foot in, going down the straight. Are they going to be brave? Just alongside, just about. Can he keep it in? Oh, so close to contact there on the front wing, but he keeps it alongside. Goshan's not going to give this up without a fight. Oh, he has to back out for single file as they run through Maggots and Beckett. Great racing between these two, but they just avoid collision. That could have been catastrophic between those two. Great, fair, clean racing. Z0T up to the lead. Look further down the grid. Quack looks close to Sherlock in the Mercedes. Got a little bit of a train forming with Reese, Quack, Sherlock all lining up behind Shankstar in the Haas. Quack is the closest of the lot to Sherlock though. Z0T, a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:30.3. DRS is now enabled. Oh, that was close for Reese. Could make a move here, just slots in behind, doesn't quite want to go for it there. Can't blame him with the high-speed nature of this track. If you come together, that could be the end of your race. Just playing the patient game. We've got a big gaggle of... Oh, big oversteer on exit there for Reese. Just holds it together, but that will compromise his exit onto the straight. Lucky he's got DRS to pull himself along. Watch this battle continue. No change of position just yet. Still a line behind Shankstar. Will be chomping at the bit to get past him now. Take a quick look up front. No big changes, but Plul is very close to Goshan. 0.3 of difference. Front pack seems to be keeping very good touch with one another. Watch Reese round that corner there. Sticking to the back of Quack. Dirty air through Maggots and Beckett's can be a real killer. Should be okay for a lot of them. Oh, bit wide for Reese. Sherlock's been given a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. You've got to say that's probably track limits. Not the best way to start there. Take a look back up front. Goshan still comfortably in the lead. Z0T just behind. Oh, no, not still comfortably in the lead. I'm so sorry. I was so caught up in that battle in the midfield. I missed a change for the lead. Z0T down into second place, but he's sticking with him. You've got to say he's probably got better pace at this point in the Grand Prix because of the tyres. Those soft compound tyres will be sticking to the ground a lot better than Goshan's medium tyres. As Pookie tumbles down the order a couple places, Arex Biscuit makes it up to 4th. Pookie's now behind Big Vic, behind Klasnik. What's going on with Pookie at the moment? It's got to be damage. You've got to say that's got to be damage for Pookie. Looks like he's missing a front wing end plate. Damage for the reigning champion as Z0T gets past Goshan. Another titanic scrap between these two. Z0T comes back at Goshan. They're tumbling down the straight. Just keeps it in side by side. Are they going to be brave and stick it out through Cops? They tumble down towards it now. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? Oh, Goshan just sweeps round. Keep P1. Through Maggots and Beckett's, Z0T won't be making a move through there. He's too far back regardless. As Pookie, his race comes undone now. That damage on the front wing. What a shame. Looked like he had such good pace. To see what happened there as we look back towards that battle in the midfield between Reese, Quack, Sherlock. Oh, bit of contact, looked like, for the Red Bull. Commentator does reply. Commentator does indeed reply. I've got an eye on the chat, but there's so much going on I can barely keep up. Plul at the moment made a move past Isti as the Lord's been given a 3-second time penalty. Reese gets it round the inside. It's so close. Quack's just ahead by a car length. You've got to say, so close. Can he hang it round the outside? Slow speed pointer, given the inside on the next corner. Reese just hangs it out, but leave him a little vulnerable down the straight with the slipstream. Can Quack fight back at him? So close between these two. Reese and Quack. Reese has had a great start, starting near the back, but he's made it up to 14th. So close between him and Quack in the Alpha as Pookie comes into the pit lane for a front wing change. Z0T 1/10 the difference. So close to P1, he can almost smell those 25 points. But you got to say, Goshan's pace on these medium tyres has been electric to hold off the soft tyre runner of Z0T. But can he have a move down into Copse? Thinks better of it. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Looked like Ferrari or an Alfa Romeo. Might have been the battle between Reese and Quack coming undone. Yeah, it looks like it, because the gap's grown quite a lot. Oh, there's ARX Biscuits coming into the fray now with Z0T. Oh, and he made a late move there from Z0T on Goshan. Done before he even reaches the corner. That's a slam on the brakes just to not run into the back of the Aston Martin. Goshan's got to be vulnerable now to the cars behind. But he can come back and down the straight. No DRS down the pit straight, but not far to the next detection point. And that would be a surefire move if he can hang with him for the time being. Again, you've got to remember, the Aston Martin's tyres will be better at this stage in the Grand Prix, as Quack's been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Second pit lane speeding penalty and another penalty for HGL Nini. 3-second time penalty for the AlphaTauri drivers. Reese makes a move past Shankstar. There's a big battle going on between the Haas and the Red Bull. Reese has had great race pace so far. Not the best in qualifying, but he's making up for it in the opening stages of this race. Going back, he'll have DRS to pull him down the straight. Should be an easy move. Signed, sealed, and delivered before they even reach the corner. Oh, but he's gone a little deep. The Haas has a half look there. Just keeps it in. Parks it on the apex. And Shankstar can't make a move, as Pookie is a man on a mission to get back up to where he belongs, up at the front in that battle with Z0T, Goshan, ARX Biscuit, and Isti, all keeping in touch with one another. Plauls there too. No, none of these drivers are more than 6-7 tenths away from each other. So you're looking, Goshan, can he make a move? Can he make it stick? Oh, it's so close to contact there. Is he going to make a dive down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. He's going to line up behind the Aston. Z05GR on the Ferrari is given a time penalty. So close between these two. Can he make a move into T1? Again, thinks better of it. The high-speed corners here are really tricky to overtake on. There's some big braking zones that are coming up now. He can really make the move, especially down this straight. DRS will pull the McLaren up towards the Aston Martin, and this should be a surefire move for Goshan to get past the Aston Martin. As we see, he's a bit of a sitting duck now. Ooh, so close. Doesn't go for a dive bomb, Goshan, but you know, he's got to be thinking about it. But remember, his tyres at the moment are going to be in a good window, but Goshan still has the soft tyre grip. They'll still be in a good working window for another few laps to go. Look down the order a bit. Isti 1/10 away from Biscuit in the Ferrari. This front-running pack is so close. Shankstar is sticking with Reese in the midfield. 3/10 the gap. J05GR chasing down the other Haas, Klasnik. So watch Goshan making a move for the lead here. A gold gaggle of cars running around the tarmac there. Goshan into the lead. Isti up into P3, gets past ARX Biscuit. Look at this, they're so close. All 5 of them. Paul hanging on to the back of that pack. They come down to the pit straight now. Perhaps Z0T's tyres just going off. Goshan's coming into its proper working window, so where the medium tyre might be able to stretch out further than the soft. We'll see if Isti can make any headways in the next lap or two on Z0T, who is on the soft tyres. The two McLarens opting for the mediums, while the Aston Martin and a lot of the other runners opting for the softs. You've got some hard tyres in the background now. As you watch Z0T make the move, this should be pretty simple. Yep, signed, sealed, and delivered before the corner. Oh, but Goshan comes back at him. Can he make it stick around the outside? Can he keep his foot in? He's kept it alongside as they come through Woodcote. So close to these two. They're still alongside each other. Z0T just got a car length ahead, maybe half a car length ahead. Is he going to stick it around the outside of Copse? Oh, so close to contact between the two. Oh, and Isti makes the most of that exit there. Isti might hang it round his teammate, but no, just sticks behind. The two playing the long game. ARX Biscuit slightly dropping Paul, but he's still there with a 5/10 gap. It's one DRS zone, which is coming up now away from closing it up. So you watch Z0T and Goshan both go through. Isti and Goshan go through. McLaren at 1-2 as it stands. It's still a long way to go, and Isti can always make a comeback on Goshan. Z0T can always come back on the two of them. His pace has been very strong in this opening stage. Look back a bit now to look at the fight between Reese and Shankstar. Shankstar's got past Reese, but Reese clearly getting impatient, wants to get past the Haas. Seems to be holding him up and backing him up into KSK in the Alpha Tauri. Reese has had a great race so far, starting, I think, 18th or 19th. Ooh, wide into the turn 2. Just thinks better of it. No silly dive bombs at this stage of the race. Oh, jam on the brakes to avoid contact. No big changes up front at the lead, but they are sticking with each other. Clawler's clawed back the gap that was built from ARX Biscuit in the Ferrari. Reese and Shankstar looks like the closest battle on track that isn't at the front. But we will go back to the front now. We can see they're about to go into the next DRS zone. This should be a surefire move for Isti, who has dropped Z0T by 0.7 of a second. Oh, the two McLarens going at it. Should be an easy move for Isti to just get past his teammate with the DRS assistance. And Isti up into P1. HGL has been given a 3-second time penalty further back in the field. So Isti up into P1. Reese been given a 3-second time penalty. Oh, what a shame. What happened to Reese? It looks like he's come undone in some way because he's been overtaken by the KSK. As Isti puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. But Reese must have had a moment, must have gone over track limits with that moment, and it's all just come undone a little bit. He was looking like he was gaining on Shankstar, maybe just getting a bit impatient behind the Haas. He looked like the stopper in the bottle a little bit. But 0.7 the gap to the Aston Martin of Z0T and Goshan. So the two McLarens in somewhat of a league of their own now. I think the medium tyres coming into their own at this stage of the race. So you've got to be thinking when the soft tyres will be pitting. Groffle and Quack have a look at each other now. 2-lap old hards, both on the hard compound tyre, so not the best for grip, but they should go to the end on these, having pitted early on. Could make use of an undercut, but perhaps not big enough of one, or too big of one, for it to really go to the end. As we watch next DRS zone, Goshan will have DRS to pull him closer to his teammate. There's going to be back and forth between these two all the way. Can't do anything about it. Isti just has to accept it. And the McLaren's just duking it out back and forth for the two of them. Z0T's been given a 5-second time penalty. Oh, what a shame. The man who looked like he was running very comfortably in the podium positions just been given a 5-second penalty, which might just completely undo his race. We'll see what happens as he comes in for a new set of medium tyres. Held up in the pit lane too. Wow, this is all going wrong. As, oh, Plaw's jumped him in the pit lane. Plaw has jumped Z0T in the pit lane. Reese is trying to close up to the Alpha Tauri, who's closed up to Shankstar. But a yellow flag for one of the Alpha Tauris now. Like Nini had a moment in Sector 2. Watch down the field. The closest battle at the moment is Shankstar and KSK. As KSK makes a move. Oh, a little bit of tyre banging there from the Haas driver. Has to slam on the brakes to not go into the back of him now. As the Alpha Tauri up ahead just gets out the way. Not a great race for HGL Nini. Shankstar and his teammate are going back and forth. Those tyre banging moves as Nini has retired from the session from P19. We've lost HGL Big Liam and HGL Nini so far. And we've got a safety car coming out. This should neutralize the pack, and this should be a godsend for Goshan. Isti comes in too. ARX Biscuit comes in to get rid of those soft tires. This will really play into Biscuit's hand now. He can get rid of those old soft tyres. And a drive-through penalty. One of our front runners, Plul, for speeding under the safety car. What on earth is happening with the front runners and these penalties? As Biscuit jumps Isti in the pit lane because the two McLarens double stacked. And Isti really coming off second best. Oh, that is terrible. Giving up track position. Maybe should have waited a little longer to come in. But the opportunity was there. He really couldn't wait. Just a shame. Gone back behind Eric's Biscuit on the road. KSK on track position. But there's the net top three are Goshan, Biscuit, and Isti at the moment. As KSK has yet to get rid of those mediums. Safety car. And HGL Quack been given a 5-second time penalty too. Pookie into the pit lane. Going to get rid of those hard tyres. Hopefully he can do something with a new fresh set of quicker rubber. Hopefully he can do something from the back. This should bring him back up into the fray. Maybe to fight for a points position, you'd hope. No damage on the front wing, not this time. Gets away. One of the front runners. Oh, it's Gruffle, sorry. Why am I focusing on him? Pookie is in the pits though as well. Medium compound tyre. Out, back into P16. He can make some good moves. Maybe if he really fights, he's got great pace this track. Really fights, he might be able to get into the points paying positions. But you've got to say it was looking good for a real top 5 finish, top 6 finish for at least Pookie at the start of this race, but it all came undone. Watch the cars line up behind the safety car. A race of drama as we'll look at the penalties now. A drive-through for Plul, which really will just sour this race. 5 seconds for Quack, 3 seconds for Reese. Another front runner with a penalty, Z0T with 5 seconds. J05GR was looking like he could pay as a front runner. Maybe not quite got the pace to stick with them, but again, not a great way to go with that penalty of his as KSK comes into the pits. Maybe left it a little bit too late, so he could be reaping, waiting that extra lap. Gets rid of those medium tyres that I think were 11 laps old. Must have been older than that. Rather the way he's got rid of them, he's onto the soft compounded tyre. That's a brave strategy from KSK. I mean, he'll be rapid. As Quack comes into the pit lane again. Again, interesting strategy. Go back to the tyres. Let's have a look at those. Got soft, mediums. A few more soft runners and hard runner for Shankstar in the pass. So a real mixture of strategies here. And again, this closes up ARX Biscuit and Isti to the front of the pack. Klasnik up into P4. And Plul with his drive-through penalty. The Haas really could hold on here for a good result. His teammate Shankstar has been involved in some great battles, but down in P13, you wonder what he can do on those hard compound tyres. Maybe not enough to bring some more points to Haas. You never know. Klasnik in a very good position here. A medium compound tyre, so these tyres will be very good at the end. The soft tyre might fall off a cliff closer to the latter end of this race. We'll have to wait and see. There's no strategy splitting between the McLarens. They're both on the same soft tyre strategy. So we'll have to see how it plays out. If they've both got it wrong, it could be a big points loss for the McLaren boys. Both Ferraris up into the points with P2 and P8. Both Astons in the points with P5 and P9. Like a good day for Constructors' Championships. Not a great day if you're Alpine so far. Really not a good day if you're an Alpha Tauri. Got 1 in 17 and 1 retired from this race. Got Liam in the chat saying Reese. Yes, Reese. Reese had a very good race for his first race with Red Bull. Lots of great battles for him. Going back and forth with Shankstar at one point and KSK in the Alpha Tauri. Some really good, intelligent racing. Yeah, so doing a really good job in the Red Bull so far. Oh, I can sense it's only up from here. Might be a little too far back for a points paying position, especially given time penalty, which might really come to ways for the Red Bull constructors today, as Plul has a drive-through as well. It's a big shame. Easy podium for Reese. Let's go. Let's see how it goes then, Liam. We'll see what happens. Things are looking pretty good for the three up front. Klasnik might not have the pace to stick with them, but he has looked mighty strong in that Haas. Just maybe not enough to stick with the top three. Who've been in a league of their own this race. Well, I say top three. It was a top 5 or 6 previously. But of course, Formula One safety car in this lap. So Goshan will lead them away. Weave down the straight. Warming up those tyres. Soft compound, medium compound, and soft compound, the top 3. Round the final few corners now. How's Goshan going to handle this restart? We'll have to have a look. Safety car comes into the pits now. It's all up to him. How's he going to do it? Looks like he's gone. Looks like he's, stamped on the throttle. 8/10 gap, 1 second gap. And Isti's going to chase down Biscuit as we look further back now. No big moves being made on that safety car restart. It all seems to be much the same. But you can't make many moves into turn 1. As a Lord and J05 go at it now. Now for the Ferrari just getting ahead. Oh, the spin there for the spinning car up ahead. I couldn't catch who that was. It looked like it was it Plul who spun round there? Oh, all a shame for Plul. Just maybe got too over optimistic on the throttle. Spun the car round. His race had really come undone with that drive-through penalty, but now that really is the final nail in the coffin for the Red Bull driver. His teammate in 15th place, lost a few positions on the restart. As we look now down the order, Z0T going to be trying to make headways since his blunder earlier in this race. Trying to make some moves. He's sticking with him. Pookie makes a move on Shankstar now. Up into 12th place. Maybe good enough to make some points from his predicament this race. Z0T's been giving another penalty there. Sherlock chases him down. He'll be eager to get past. He's going to make the dive. No, he thinks better of it. Sticks behind. But he's on the soft compound tyre. So I want to clear the medium compound tyre runner. Nice and quick there. Goshan puts in the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:28.8. This is the closest back. Oh, just almost managed to cut back on Z0T. Just hangs back for the time being. As they're both closing up to a Lord in front. Z0T going to go for the move on the Alfa Romeo. Oh, he comes back at him though. A Lord comes back as Z0T in the Aston Martin. Side by side they go. They tumble down to the straight. No DRS in this lap. Oh, almost cuts across the Mercedes front wing. Going to use the power of the slipstream. No DRS, going to be pure speed. And he sweeps through. It's going to be 2 in 1. Oh, so close. Alord almost comes back at him. Round the outside, Sherlock has a look. Can he keep it in? Keeps his foot in. The grip isn't there. Can he make it happen? Not quite. Down into Woodcut they go. Can he have a second go down the straight? Maybe use the power of the slipstream up ahead to go around the outside. Oh, so close to contact. Oh, it might have been contact there for Sherlock and a Lord. As Sherlock sticks it round and Maggots and Beckett's tyres banging out and a Lord's out. It's all come undone. Big Six goes round. Damage on the front wing. A Lord's been clattered into. It was a bold move by Sherlock. I'm sorry, that was never going to work through Maggots and Beckett's. It was worth a shot, but it's all come undone for a Lord. And even more so for Big Six, his teammate, losing a bit of front wing endplate on the right-hand side as Isti sets the fastest lap. It was looking to be a great battle, but it's all come undone. And at Maggots and Beckett, it's a high-speed section of the track. Reese, 8/10 the gap. KSK ahead of him. 1/10 the gap. Got a second gap ahead for Isti and Goshan. Oh, round the outside for the AlphaTauri driver on the Haas. What a move. Passes over the curbs, but he does make it stick. Shankstar has nowhere to go than behind the Alpha. This might open the door for Reese because it would have compromised his exit. So Reese is making moves. 2/10 the gap. Is he going to make the dive? Oh, so close between the two of them. Reese is having a great opening race from my point of view. He's had some great battles, great clean battles. Might not come away with any points, but he's certainly had a good debut for Red Bull. Quack closes up to him as well. Quack's been giving another time penalty. 3 seconds for Quack in the Alfa Romeo. Big Six languishing at the back after that incident. As Klasnik and Big Vic go back and forth now. Aston Martin on Haas. Side by side between the two of them. There's a big braking zone coming up for them. Oh, so close, so close. Can he cut back? Can Klasnik cut back? Not quite. Big Vic makes it stick. Sherlock's been given a 3-second time penalty. Klasnik has a little half look, but can't make anything stick. We have a look at the penalties at the request of Big Liam. We'll have a quick look now. Oh, I'm looking at the complete wrong thing, my bad. Penalties. We have a look at the penalties. We've got 3 seconds for J05 at GR, 8 seconds for Z0T now. Sherlock has 6, Groffel with 3, a Lord with 3. As another move almost on for the Haas on the Aston Martin. Might cut back him. He compromised the exit. Not quite able to make it stick, but regardless, 6 seconds for Reese, 3 seconds for Quack, 2 seconds for Groffel, and 3 for a Lord. So Jabber, if he can keep it stick, might be up into P9 if he sticks with Sherlock. See how that goes as Klasnik stays back for now. Maybe thinking about what happened at Maggots and Beckett's before. Isti and Goshan going at one another now. DRS to pull him along, but it's not quite enough to make the move stick. Klasnik and Big Vic back at it again. Klasnik makes the move. DRS pulling him through the straight. Easy, done and dusted. As a Lord makes the move on Groffel. Again, DRS assisted, pulls him along. Shankstar and Reese going at it again. Reese, Shankstar, side by side, the two of them. Reese trying to sweep around the outside, just manages. Again, great precision from the Red Bull driver. He's been driving a fantastic race, just not in the position to get the points out of it. It's a big shame because this has been some wonderful racing for the new Red Bull driver. Isti has closed the gap up to Goshan. He's really closed the gap up to Goshan. It was less than 2/10 for a moment. Gonna bring the gap a little bit more. But he'll have another go. Not a lot of time. There's a second DRS zone that will really pull him along. This is where the McLarens have been going back and forth almost the entire race down the straight after Maggots and Beckett's. Look in the background, Shankstar and Quack are so close to one another. Reese is in that fight too, up ahead. Stopper in the bottle for them. Reese not making much of an impression in the AlphaTauri ahead as we watch Isti make the move, just makes it stick. Almost done before they even start thinking about turning that wheel into the corner. And now that those two are done there. We'll go look behind. There's Groffel, a Lord, 4 tenths of gap. Pookie and J05GR going back at each other. Nice clean racing from the two. He can't quite cut back, so Pookie keeps P7 for the time being. Great recovery from the Alpine driver after terrible luck with the damage in the first lap. Or in the opening stages, sorry. Watch further back as a Lord is closing up to Jabber. Remember, if Jabber sticks with Sherlock, who has 6 seconds worth of time penalties, he could get P9 or P10 if a Lord overtakes him. Then he has Groffel just behind, ready to swallow him up if he's not careful. No DRS for Big Jabber. He's going to have to defend this himself. Doesn't really need to yet. Looks like a Lord will be too far back to make the move stick for now. Doesn't compromise his exit either. So keeps ahead for now, the Williams driver, Big Jabber. As, Quack and Reese and the Alpha Tauri all going at each other. And then the Hastori all going at each other. As Reese stays ahead for now. Big Six been given another time penalty. I'm saying another time penalty. I think I got the wrong Mercedes there. No, his first time penalty, sorry. And, a Lord making a move into Maggots and Beckett. We've seen this happen before, but it comes off clean. He classes over the curbs. No one comes undone this time. But cast your minds back a few laps ago, and it didn't happen so cleanly. So watch Goshan and Isti still in a league of their own. 5 seconds the gap to the Ferrari of ARX Biscuit. Absolutely just out in front, as we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 for one of the Mercedes drivers. And we've got a virtual safety car now as Big Six DNFs. Big Six is going to be out of this race. Big Jabber down into P11. But he could still be in a shot of points if he sticks by Sherlock. This is so close. So very close. Sherlock's 6 second time penalties. It's going to be a tough one for Jabber to get, but if he can stick with him, he could be into P10. He's on the right tyre for it as well. Sherlock's tyres will be going off towards the end of this race. It will be a difficult one to judge, but Jabber could be on for a points finish as long as Groffel doesn't swallow him up in the pack momentarily when the safety car comes in. And pull in the pits again, just to mark off what's been a very unfortunate day for him. Drive-through penalty. And a bit of a moment at the back. It was all looking so good in the front pack, but the front pack is now diminished to a front pair. Isti and Goshan. 2 drivers who have been absolutely unequivocally ahead of the rest. 6 seconds the gap to ARX Biscuit. Drive-through penalty for J05GR for speeding, which could be good news again for Jabber. One of the fan favourites here in chat. Jabber could be in with a shot of points if he sticks with Sherlock and or doesn't get swallowed up by Groffel. It's going to be a mighty effort from the Williams driver as we get racing again. Goshan with DRS can't make an impression on Isti. Big Vic trying to make a move on Klasnik. Not going to be close enough this time round. Pookie, 3 tenths the gap to the Aston Martin ahead. Looking like a bit of a DRS train forming here. Look further back. Big Jabber, can he hold off the Alpine? He looks like he's making headways on a Lord in the Alfa Romeo, which is a good sign given that there's a drive-through penalty up ahead and a 6 second penalty for Sherlock. If he can just stick with a Lord, hopefully get past him, he could be in with a shot of points in the Williams. We've got a come on Jabber. Pookie with a 3 second time penalty. As he goes past Z0T, but he must have gone off the track to do so. Isti and Goshan swap the lead again. Now you see Big Vic make the move on Klasnik, makes it stick this time round. Oh, but Klasnik comes back at him. Round the outside goes Klasnik, bagging tyres with the Aston Martin. It's so close between these two. He's got the inside line, but Aston Martin comes back at him. Big Vic coming back at Klasnik again. These two, there's nothing to separate them, and they've filtered back in. Big Vic back ahead. And that really opens up the door for Pookie behind, as that would have really compromised Klasnik the last few corners. Can he make a move into the oh, contact! Contact between Pookie and Klasnik. Does he have any damage on the front wing? If the camera could change angles, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see if there's any damage on Pookie's front wing. Come down the straight now. No, doesn't look like there's any damage for Pookie, but there was definitely contact there with the Haas. Maybe just getting frustrated with him being a bit of a stopper in the bottle, as we know Pookie's had really good pace this weekend. Oh, and he just, oh, has a look. The two are side by side, rubbing tyres, rubbing bodywork together. Can he make it stick into Kops? Oh, it's a brave one down the inside of Kops. Oh, and he's gone. Klasnik's come undone. Into the wall for the Haas driver. Moving up into Kops is always a risky one. Ask Max Verstappen. Wow. So close between the two. Is looking so respectful. I guess Klasnik retires now. Too much damage to sustain. And that puts Jabba up into P9, a fan favourite in the chat. So, well, some conflicted opinions, but looking like the Williams driver will be scoring some points so he can hold off the rest. We've got a safety car to neutralise the pack. It's going to be a very short sprint at the end of this race. As Paul comes out on the soft tyres, he could make the most of this sprint, but he might not have enough time to do it. Shankstar comes into the pits as well. Is that for damage, or are you trying to get rid of those hard compound tyres? He's on the soft compound tyres. He can make more of an impression, but again, he might not have the time to do it in. If you go down the order, Isti in P1, Goshan in P2, ARX Biscuit in P3, Big Vic into P4 with Pookie just behind him, chomping at the bit to get past. The other Aston Martin, a good day for the Aston Martin and the constructors, with the teammate of Big Vic, Z0T in P6, Sherlock in P7 for Mercedes, his teammate DNF'd, a Lord in Alpha, P8, Big Jabber in the Williams, P9, Groffel in the Alpine, P10. And we'll have a look at the penalties again, because this could play into a lot of drivers' hands. Pookie with 3 seconds, but Z0T with 8 seconds of penalties. Like I said before, this could be the difference between winning a race, losing a race, or, you know, a podium. If let's say Goshan gets a penalty or Isti gets a penalty, that can completely undo everything, given how evenly matched the two have been. Lots of incidents in this race. We've lost 4 runners so far. Safety cars in this lap. It will be a 2-lap sprint for the drivers then, as we go up towards Isti to watch how he's going to handle this restart. Weaving down the straight to get some tires, get some temperature into those tires. If you look at the back, Shankstar, J05GR and Plul all on fresh, soft rubber. While everyone else is on mediums or softs at 11, 10 laps old. So this could be time to make moves. It looks like Isti is itching to get away. It looks like he's stamped on the throttle and he's building the gap already to Goshan. But Goshan got a good reaction. Didn't quite drop him like he would have wanted. Look at the back. Groffel makes a move on Big Jabber already. Not messing around. Already past the Williams driver. Looks like Jabber's sticking with him though. He wants these points. He's dying for these points. Again, Groffel's got a penalty too. So Jabber's had a clean race. He could stick his car into P8, P9. Let's have a look. Reese, P12. Not much he'll be able to do, I don't think, from there with the penalties, as Pookie is fighting with Big Vic at the moment. Big Vic trying it around the outside, but there's gravel there, my friend. You've got to be careful. As they come down, I don't think there'll be a move into Kops. I think they've learnt their lesson. Again, already a 3-second gap to the front two, back to ARX Biscuit. So again, just showing these two are in an absolute league of their own. Mid-pack is really bunched up together as Big Jabber still keeping him within a second of Groffel, not making too big of an impression, but he looks like he is on course for some points if he can stick it here. So he doesn't make too many any mistakes. He's got to just drive a perfect last couple laps as Isti rounds the final corner to start the last lap of the race. And surely desperation will be setting in for Goshan now. He knows this is his last chance, and he should have a good go at it as they go down the straight before the final few corners. He will have a good go at it with the DRS. He doesn't want to pass him too early in the lap, or else he'll be a complete sitting duck come the end. This will be a good strategic game between the two. Look back, Pookie's making an impression on Biscuit now. Can Pookie make a move on a soft tyre runner of Biscuit? Maybe he's saved enough tyres. Just attack, attack, attack. Get into the podium paying positions. He's so close. Oh, and he's having a look, having a half a look. Got his front wing alongside ARX Biscuit. He's got the traction. He's planting it to the floor, and Pookie is up into third. Groffel gets another time penalty, so Jabber is really in a good position to score some points for Williams today, as Pookie makes it up into P3. Sterling drive from the Alpine driver. A few incidents along the way, maybe some controversy. We'll have a look in the chat later. It is looking like a good day to be a McLaren. Even better day to be, well, we'll see which McLaren it's a better day to be at the end of this race. You can't judge it yet, as Isti looks like he'll be taking the lead. No desperate moves from Goshan. He comes round the final corner to take the checkered flag, and after a long, arduous battle, Isti is the victor out of the two McLarens. In the background, got all the drivers coming across now. And look there, Big Jabber in P6, one of our fan favourites. That safety car dragged him right the way up into P6. Pookie, unfortunately, drops down to P5. P3 on the road. What a day for the McLarens. 1-2. ARX Biscuit rounding out the podium. Wow. It's KSK. I'm not even going to attempt second part of that name, is given driver of the day, and wow, what a race. You see the McLaren drivers on the podium, ARX Biscuit alongside. Looking at the chat, well done Jabber, Big Jabber. Great race for the Williams driver, but a better race for these two. Isti and Goshan, a league of their own this race. As we have a look at the final standings then. Isti is the victor with Goshan not far behind. ARX Biscuit rounds out the podium with Big Vic just behind him. Pookie up into P5, good recovery, but it was looking like it could be more on the road if it wasn't for the penalties. Big Jabber into P6. What a race from the Williams driver. The AlphaTauri of KSK Aguiar in P7, a Lord into P8, and Sherlock rounding out the points with Shankstar and the Haas just ahead of him. We look down at Reese, P13 from a poor qualifying performance. Solid effort from the Red Bull debutant. But what a race we've had today. Drama. More drama. A little bit more drama. What a fantastic race. Oof. At the home of motorsport. Thank you all for watching. Catch you next week for the next round of the Huts F1 Gaming League. Good night.